you want to explain to somebody when exactly Audi became a legend, you need to go a long way back at the end of the 70s, as Audi was stuck in an identity box, like a pubescent teenager. One moment. And decide therefore to create with help of dark force a fire-breathing, everything was coming in its way, destroyable demon, the legendary 5-cylinder turbo devil. And in this case the dark force was 5 cylinders and boost pressure. As the Audi engineers realized which kind of monster they create, they gave a host with a big strong body to the demon, the legendary Quattro, which was born in 98. And the more time passed by, the more stronger and powerful the demon is getting. And in case of this, he needs to change the body to a newer host. And this was reached his peak in 1994 in the Audi Porsche Corporation, before he disappears in 1969 without any trace in the dark.
Babe?
Yeah?
What are you doing?
Nothing, I'm just telling a good night story. Please do me a favor, okay? Shut the light off and leave me alone, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh man, now she confused me. Where I was stopped. Ah yeah, before he disappeared in 1996 without any trace in the dark. Until modern times, then the demon has found a new host and comes back out of the darkness, more powerful and more malicious than ever before, full of hate and angriness. Okay, that's a little bit too dramatic, but that thing is really the devil, man. Our current RS3 is the second generation of the RS3 and has the model name 8VA. And now when you ask, hey, but why you didn't take the first generation of the RS3 because it was the first one with this legendary 5-cylinder engine, or why you take the third generation because it has more power than generation 2, Ben, because we didn't manage it to get our hands on generation 1, and the same story was with generation 3, but this car has more power than generation 1, okay? And it sounds much better than generation 3, okay? Much better, because it doesn't have that stupid particle filter, all right? So, did it answer your question? Can we move on? Okay? Man, always that questions.
At the beginning of the 80s, the 2.1 liter 5-cylinder 10 valves monster produced a whopping 200 horsepower and catapulted its host from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 7.1 seconds. The top speed was by 222 kilometers per hour. At the end of the 80s, the Audi engineers feed the monster with anabolic steroids, resulting in the 2.2 liter 5-cylinder 20 valves engine with 220 horsepower, which now only needed 6.3 seconds to get from 0 to 100 instead of 7.1 seconds, and was 8 kilometers per hour faster in top speed. In between, there were two exotics, two really extraordinary exotics. The 2.1 liter 5-cylinder 20 valves engine, which was introduced in 1993 in the legendary Audi Sport Quattro homologation car, with a brutal 306 horsepower at 350 Newton meters of torque, thanks to 2.04 bar boost pressure. The 2.1 liter 5-cylinder 20 valves engine with a morbid 450 horsepower, which was then used in the Audi Sport Quattro S1, the legendary rally car that put the fear of God into all rivals. Introduced in 1994, the 2.2 liter 5-cylinder 20 valves engine, which did its job in the Audi Porsche Corporation Audi RS3, produced an incredible 315 horsepower at 410 Newton meters of torque in serious production, and was the pinnacle of Audi's 5-cylinder turbo demon until 1996. The demon disappeared for a long time, until 2011, when Audi decided to wake up the sleeping monster and feed it with anabolic steroids again. The result was a 2.5 liter 5-cylinder 20 valves with 340 horsepower and 420 Newton meters of torque. But Audi was still missing the right host. In contrast to the last time, it was not longer to be a station wagon, but something compact and sportier, just like in the good old days, at the beginning of the 80s. As Audi was undecided, they opted for two hosts. The A3, from which the RS3 emerged, and the TT, from which the TT RS resulted. After several courses of anabolic steroids, the 5-cylinder reached its current peak in 2021, in the third generation with 400 horsepower and 500 Newton meter of torque. In between, however, was the second generation, with which we are driving today.
Our current RS3 is in stock because it is powered by Opt. What means it has in place from 367 horsepower, now 420. But when you drive it in the comfort mode, you feel nothing about it because it really feels like the regular power setting. It drives smooth and nice, without any angriness, without any hate, really nice to driving. When you go, for example, now to the more aggressive dynamic mode, the sound type is changing and also the feeling on the gas pedal is different. And now you feel, as soon you touch a little bit the acceleration pedal, how much hate is in this engine. And it screams and it talks to you all the time. He says to you, little bastard, come on, push me harder. Is that all you have? And you want to show him your skills and push him harder. It is an engine that really wanted to make sins on the road, so it's dangerous. You really need to be disciplined about yourself to doesn't do stupid stuff on the road. But it really pushes you all the time. So for example, when you're going to a track with this car, it is really good because it pushes you all the time. Listen to that. It push you all the time to drive faster and faster and hound all these guys in front of you. But when you're driving at the road, it is really dangerous because, you know, it is a sin, you know. And when we're already talking about hounding, it doesn't matter if you took this car to a pass road or to a track. It is really a hounter. It is a predator. You can really go and hounding Porsches, for example, or much faster and much more exclusive cars. It is how great this car performed. It is unbelievable. I love that thing. And the way this 420 horsepower goes, it's legendary. It's so mean, it's so aggressive. It starts by 2,800 RPMs and ends by 7,100 without any losing on pressure. This is sick. How this thing goes is really sick. Faster than my M4. Really, it is. You can throw it through the corners. It has always grip with this great quattro system, and the way this engine sounds, oh my god, it's diabolic. It always pops and bangs. Doesn't matter if you change the gears up and down. It makes you want to drive more faster from corner to the corner, and doesn't stop. The way how everything works together in this chassis with this great monstrous engine, it's lovely. Let's take a closer look to this second generation of the Audi RS3. So when I'm talking about the Audi RS vehicle, I always thinking it is white. That's always the thing of an Audi RS. Doesn't matter if it's an Audi RS4, 6 or 3. And also here the same story. If you take a look, this car is much wider than a normal one, Audi A3. That's classic RS. Also, compared to this predecessor, we have now left and right an exhaust pipe, and this is what it fits so well to this back of this car. In the middle part, a diffuser, but without any function. But doesn't matter, it fits, it looks good. What we have here is also a roof wing, and this one has a function because it's wider, it's longer, and it also channels the air better at the back of the car. So if you take a look by the side view, you realize first, okay, these are not the original alloy wheels, but it has the same dimension, so it means it drives pretty the same like the original one. And also you see we have here the shadow line. That means there is no silver line, everything is in black like the car, and that looks great because it fits so great to the car. And if you're not secure, is it an A or an S3 or an RS3, take a look at the brake system. It is a big one with 6 calipers, and I mean lately here is clear that is an RS model because you have also here the RS emblem. And when we go to the front, I mean, come on guys, the front of an Audi RS model is always the cherry top. And here at the second view, you realize this front looks somehow different than the regular one. And the reason is this aftermarket front lips. It fits great to this car because somehow it underlines this whole RS philosophy. And what I also like by those RS models, I know it's a stupid word to call it elegance, but somehow after you see a front of an RS model, doesn't matter which one, first thing is you see it looks bad and mighty, but then the second thing is it looks also somehow elegant. And the same thing also here. Yes, we have a black badge, it makes it look meaner, but it's still somehow at the second view a nice elegant looking car. And that's what I really like about these Audi RS models, because you can also take a look in 5, 10, 20 years, you will walk by this car and think to yourself, what a great looking machine. It looks timeless, it looks mighty, it looks like an Audi RS should looks. really don't like at this car, it's like by all his bigger brothers, the same story, is the feeling at the steering wheel, because it doesn't give enough feedback. It doesn't want to talk to you. It feels too synthetic. The same problem is also by RS4 and RS6. And the problem is, so as long you drive it easy, it's not a big deal. But when you want to start driving more aggressive and sportier, and you're trying to listen to this steering wheel feeling, you want to feel out what he says to you, but he's saying nothing. He don't want to talk to you. He don't want to talk to you about how the tarmac is, how the condition on the tarmac is, do you have grip or not? And that's a little bit sad, because if you didn't know the car, you make many misinterpretations about the tarmac. But fortunately, you have this great working Quattro system on board, which helps you to get out of the misery if you make some misinterpretation in the corner. Because if you have a little bit feeling for the car, you can play with this acceleration pedal, and you can even go in the middle of the corner, well balanced out with a little bit, just a small pressure on the gas pedal. And yeah, that's the way how this car still driving great, even by that really synthetic and don't want to talk to you feeling on the steering wheel. And then is there this double clutch 7-speed gearbox that calls S-tronic, and that really performs wonderful. It is lovely how this gearbox changed the gears in every driving mode. When you drive in the comfort mode, it is so smooth. You doesn't have some rattling. It really shifts very nice. It shifts very intelligent and very efficient. Also in case of fuel economy. And then when you go, for example, to manual and you want to shift the gears at your own, it is so fast and so nice. Mwah, perfect. And then when we go back, for example, to the automatic mode, when we switch to this automatic sport modes, wow, it is like it could read your mind. It shifts so well. Normally when I'm driving sporty, I like to shift the gears on my own, because I always have the best feeling, okay, now to shift up and down. But here, this really also, it is like it could read my mind. It knows exactly when I want to shift, and it shifts exactly then up or down. So normally when I want to drive sporty on a pass road, or for example on the track, I always shift the gear by myself. But I think this will be the first car when I will use it on track that I will leave it maybe just for fun in the automatic sport mode, because it do it so well and so fast and so smooth. It is really one of the best double clutch gearbox systems I ever explored in a car.
God damn! Oh, that thing is the devil in person. Something that is so full of hate and mean shouldn't exist and must be destroyed. God damn it! I can't do this. That thing makes too much fun to me. That thing is so quick, that's sick.